Welcome to today's explainer. So we're going to be objectively breaking down a concept that has literally taken over the internet, the viral 369 manifestation method. If you spend any time online, you've definitely seen variations of this, promising massive life changes through simple numerical repetition. We're going to act as your focused lens today, dissecting exactly what the source material presents step by step. We'll look at the specific instructions, the strict commitments, and the underlying theories the speaker uses to justify why this supposedly works.
Let's just dive right into it. The source kicks things off with a massive, and I mean absolutely massive claim attributed to the legendary inventor Nikola Tesla. They state that Tesla himself said, "Whoever understands the numbers 3, 6, and 9 holds the very key to the universe." Talk about a heavy historical name drop, right? It's totally designed to instantly lend weight to the topic. But the speaker doesn't just rely on history. They immediately pivot to a personal hook. They share this anecdote, claiming they used this very 369 technique themselves and their life changed instantly. Well, actually, scratch that. They emphasize that the complete transformation took exactly 3 days. 3 days! They stress that this method is famous, incredibly powerful, and utilized by highly successful people, and they explicitly urge you to save the information so you don't lose it. So what exactly is this seemingly magical process?
Section 1. The 369 Rule, the daily practice. According to our source, this method chops your day into 3 distinct phases. The very first step requires your attention the absolute second you open your eyes. The speaker instructs that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you must take your specific goal, whatever life change or achievement you're manifesting, and write it down exactly 3 times. This is positioned as the crucial first action to set your psychological baseline for the day. Then, as your day gets busy and chaotic, the method requires you to hit pause and refocus. During the afternoon, the speaker instructs you to take out that pen and paper again. This time, you've got to write down that exact same goal 6 times. It establishes a rhythm. You aren't just passively remembering your goal, you're actively stopping your day to physically write it out, literally doubling your reps from the morning.
Finally, we reach the end of the day. Right before you go to sleep at night, you execute the final step of the daily cycle. The source dictates that you must write the goal down 9 times. By placing this at the very end of the day, the method ensures that focusing on this big objective is your final conscious action before drifting off to sleep.
Now, what's truly interesting is the sheer volume of focus this routine demands when you look at the math. Breaking it down, you've got 3 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, and 9 at night. Completing just one single daily cycle means you are physically writing your goal out a total of 18 times each day. The source is demanding a highly specific, repetitive physical action that basically forces you to obsessively outline your intention morning, noon, and night. And this brilliantly illustrates the intense discipline the source insists upon. You can't just do this once. On the left, we see the ultimate requirement. The speaker explicitly states that this must be practiced continuously without a single break for 21 days. It's presented as an absolute, non-negotiable rule. But on the right, look at the strict consequence of failure. The speaker warns that if you miss even a single day, like if you forget your afternoon session or fall asleep before your 9 nightly reps, you don't just pick up where you left off. No way. You must start the whole shebang completely over from day 0. It's a rigorous test of commitment.
Section 2. Why does this work? The claims behind the method. So the source doesn't just say, do this because it's a good habit. Instead, the speaker relies on 2 distinct pillars to justify why the technique works. The first pillar leans into cosmic principles regarding Nikola Tesla and universal frequencies, while the second pillar shifts over to cognitive claims about neuroscience and activating the subconscious mind. It's this fascinating mashup of the mystical and the scientific. Let's look a little closer at both.
All right, so the crucial point of the first pillar is this definition of universal frequency. The speaker neutrally presents the claim that Nikola Tesla actually proved that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 represent the fundamental frequencies of the universe itself. According to the logic presented in the source material, by structuring your goal setting around these specific numbers, you're somehow tuning your personal desires into the fundamental vibrational frequency of the cosmos, kind of like tuning a radio to the exact right station. Then, the source pivots to the second pillar. The speaker states that neuroscience advocates for this method. They assert that the physical act of writing in this specific repetitive numerical pattern throughout the day acts like a trigger that activates the subconscious mind. The claim here is that by bombarding your brain with this 3-6-9 rhythm, your subconscious basically takes the wheel, aligning your actions and thoughts to ultimately ensure that the goal is achieved.
Section 3. Claims of Success,
the final commitment.
The speaker wraps up their instructions with a bold, conditional guarantee. Step 1, as we discussed, is the unbroken physical commitment. Practice continuously for 21 days. But Step 2 introduces a really vital internal condition. The speaker insists you must do this with full, unwavering belief. You absolutely cannot harbor doubt. If you fulfill those two requirements, the source promises Step 3. Your life will completely transform and every single goal you've set will be achieved. It's an all-encompassing promise of total success, provided you follow the rules perfectly and believe entirely.
Finally, knowing that these claims are pretty massive, the speaker makes a direct appeal to social proof. They actively challenge skeptics. If you don't believe their claims, the speaker tells you to go search the internet for yourself. They state that you will find millions of people currently testifying to the immense power of the 369 technique. They use this assertion of a massive silent army of successful practitioners as their final piece of evidence to validate the method and urge you to try it out today. And that brings us to the end of our analysis. We've seen the strict routine, the cosmic and neurological claims, and the grand promises of complete transformation. But analyzing this source material leaves us with a really compelling tension. Does writing a goal in a pattern of 3, 6, and 9 truly unlock the hidden frequencies of the universe? Or is it far simpler? Does forcing yourself to physically write down your biggest goal 18 times a day, every single day for nearly a month, simply serves to hyper-focus your subconscious mind? Does it just make you acutely aware of opportunities you might have otherwise missed? It's a fascinating contrast between mystical alignment and intense psychological discipline. And that is a question we will leave you to independently ponder. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with us, and we'll see you next time.